Hey guys, Ningen here bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and today we are taking the two EZA Android 17 and 18, the STR and the Int one that we recently got on Global. I did solo showcases for them, and in those videos I did talk about the fact that we were going to put them together and then take them into Android Super Battle Road, because I did want to show them off separately without using them both together, because obviously each one only really gets the full benefit from their passive when they're run alongside an Android 18 or an Android 17, you know, so they make the pair. But it does include any of the units that fall under those categories. So we used the Int 18 with the physical MVP 17 from Super, and then we used the STR 18 17 with the STR 18 from the Barbershop, the support unit. So there's a few options that can work really well together, and now we are finally showing them off together on the Android category team. And as you can see from this first turn, we do have the support from Android 13, but yeah, we didn't really take a lot of damage with no item active at all. So they obviously are designed to go together, but I was very impressed during this run with just how good they were, especially the 18 defensively, because 18 is the one who infinitely stacks her attack, so we would expect 17 to hit some good defensive levels because he's the one that infinitely stacks his defense. But then of course you got to remember that just by having them both side by side in a rotation, you're getting 150% attack and defense from their passives. Then of course they share quite a few links that give them a bunch of attack. Android Assault is like another 1,000 defense. So yeah, they are not only designed to go well together, but they just work so well together, and you'll see that in this run. So I believe I brought double, yeah, I think I brought double 13 leads. You do get lower HP, but you get that bigger boost to defense, and I just wanted to see just how well the pair would do from the very beginning with no items. And considering that showing on the first turn, I would say that that is actually very good. And then I of course bought the 14 and 15 just to get that special ability to go off with 13, so we can foresee super attacks. That's obviously super useful for Super Battle Road, because you can see, we can see here that we are going to take 2 super attacks in this front slot. So unfortunately, because they are coming from AGL and then physical, regardless of who I put in the front slot out of the 2 androids, one of them is going to be taking type disadvantage. So I decided to go with the 17 because of course he is the one that actually stacks his defense. So obviously he's perfectly fine with normal attacks. The physical LR androids of course are an android support unit as well, so they are giving them a little bit of an extra buff. And I mean, that attack stat for a unit he's the one, remember, that stacks defense, and he's almost at a 2 million attack stat, so that's very good. And then of course he gets a built-in additional when linked with 18, whereas she gets a chance to dodge. So the fact that he was able to get off a second super, 150,000 damage is obviously quite a lot, but considering it's on Super Battle Road and it's a type disadvantage super attack, like in a lot of other situations that could have easily been 250,000. So that's actually a very good defensive showing from 17 in the first slot there. And now we end up with just this little AGL guy left. I think the 2 13s should hopefully finish him off here. They do have the chance to stun, but I'm not sure if that comes into play that many times throughout this run. We do make it pretty far without using any items, but this isn't a no items run. Obviously we did the Android stage a long time ago. The Android stage was actually the first of the 3rd set of stages that I did the no items run on, just because they are so tanky. They have lots of attack lowering, lots of healing. But obviously there's quite a few units that we brought with us here that I would not bring, like the 14 and the 15. 13 could actually probably hang pretty well because he is a support unit. He can stun, which is obviously based on your RNG, of course, could be incredibly useful. But yeah, we don't quite finish him off, so it'll be down to our androids here. Hopefully I put 18 in the front slot, because I did pre-record this. Am I thinking about which one to do? Oh, I put 17 in the front. I kind of wish I'd put 18 in the front slot, just because obviously she's the one that stacks her attack. So I want to see what her attack stat is up to. We do have the support from the free-to-play Android 21. Although I guess if he doesn't crit, 17 might not actually finish him off here, because he doesn't have type advantage. Yeah, no crit, okay. So he gets the additional. So again, we need no crit here. And we get the crit. But I mean, 1.25 million damage off of a crit. Like, I said it before in their previous solo showcase videos, but these are the kind of EZAs that I love, where they've taken these two units that I had in my box. I've had them for ages. I've pulled so many copies of them that I opened up all their paths. They do have farmable super attacks, so I'm one of those people. I will farm up the super attack of a unit even if I'm not ever going to use them or like put orbs into them. I just do it just because I can. So I've had these two sat in my box at all paths open SA10 for ages, but they were just sat at 0% because I've never used them. And there never really was any great reason to use them. And now these EZAs have come along and actually made them very, very good. They are definitely top tier picks for the Android team, depending on your box and what you have available. Because obviously MVP 17 is one of the main Android's leaders. And of course you can't use him and this STR 17 at the same time. But the Android team does have a whole host of other leaders that you can use instead. Especially if you did pull on the 13. It's hard to say, especially for Super Battle Road, because MVP is such a good defensive support unit, which of the two 17s would be better, because obviously you can run this in 18 and link her up with MVP 17, and then that takes away sort of the disadvantage that she has. She stacks attack instead of defense, but then MVP 17 gives a huge defensive buff with his passive. So that's the rotation we used in her solo showcase, and it actually works incredibly well. So that is one way you could do that. And then yeah, the 18 herself, there's not a lot of really good Android 18 cards. Like the tech one from the Tournament of Power is okay, but she's a nuker, so to defend well in modes like Super Battle Road or even like Infinite Dragon Ball History, you need to be able to pick up a ton of orbs for her to actually have good defense. So I think, unless I'm like completely missing, well actually yeah, sorry, the STR 18 is a support unit, and she is one of the better support units for the Android team. So I do normally bring her on my main, what I consider my like best Android team. I do normally run the STR support one. So yeah, that's kind of good because there's a lot of options, but these two have definitely become viable options. I mean, look at that. We just took double digits from a super attack with 18 over here. We got the support from 13 on the rotation as well. Very, very good. Let me get the additional from you. I feel like the additional is probably more useful. But I like how they balanced it that way. Because obviously 17 increases his defense constantly. So he's very, very good defensively, and the additional super helps to build that defense. But because he doesn't build his attack, he's never going to hit as hard. So the additional super allows him to do extra damage. And then, of course, 18, she stacks her attack, so she's going to keep firing off loads of really hard-hitting attacks, but her defense doesn't increase. So she has that chance to dodge, which is, let's check the wiki, 25%, which is pretty good. I mean, that is literally the equivalent of having level 25 dodge, which is impossible. So the fact that she just gets that for free from her hidden potential system by being linked up with Android 17 is very, very good. Because obviously she's an int unit, so she gets a free level 5 dodge. I'm not sure which order those are calculated in, because they don't stack. So how that works is she has a 5% chance to dodge from her passive, from her hidden potential, and then a 25% chance to dodge from her passive, and it will attempt to proc both of those. I'm just not sure in which order. So obviously the level 5 dodge is the one that goes off not as often. I mean, we've seen some clutch level 3 and level 5 dodges over the course of our channel, but yeah, 25% chance to dodge is very, very useful, especially when you consider the fact that in a long form event, because Super Battle Road you're not going to see her true potential, but like the legendary Goku event, she's going to be hitting insane attack stats by the end, and then of course 17 is going to reach that kind of crazy high level of defense that even by the time you get to in UI Goku, you're just going to take double digits from a super attack with STR 17. That's where that rotation does become a little bit more sketchy, because obviously against Int UI Goku, 18 can't get her dodges, and then even though she's getting that 150% attack and defensive buff from her passive, her defense is probably not going to be high enough to be able to tank very well against Int UI Goku. Normal attack she might still do okay. She's probably still going to take, I don't know, I guess I would say 20 to 40k, maybe. Might be less, but a super attack, she's definitely going to take big damage. So, but anyway, we're going to see the Dokkan attack within Android 18. She does have the support from the physical LR androids. So, she's got an almost 2 million attack stat. Again, that's the problem with any sort of nuker or stacking unit, is if you don't get a lot of orbs or it's really early on in the event, then their Dokkan attack isn't going to be the most insane thing on earth. But she got 2.5 million damage, and then we get the additional as well, so pushing her attack stat even higher. So that's a huge amount of damage, and of course that guy survives with like the tiniest sliver of health. So, and I don't think did I target him with the physical LR androids? Oh, again, the additional super from you. Can you finish off real? I have a horrible feeling they both survived this turn with like the tiniest sliver of health. Yeah, who are they attacking? If they're attacking, okay, they might finish off the tech guy here. Well, they should do. I don't have any dupes in my physical LR androids, but I don't think they did. Ha! And then they get super attacked with type disadvantage. Oof, 250,000, okay. So they dodge a normal attack, but we'll take the 250,000 damage super attack from the physical android's built-in dodge ability. So, typical Super Battle Road. We literally saw that happen in the race with Talon the other day, and we were talking about it there. Those are the two things that you know are going to happen in Super Battle Road all the time. Is if an enemy survives with a sliver of health, they're going to super attack you. And if an enemy, if one of your guys dodges a normal attack, chances are they're going to get hit with a super attack in basically the same turn. So, we did see both instances of that in this particular run. So, typical. But we got Android 13 here with the type advantage. He's easily going to finish off Rildo here. And then we can go on into the final fight. The only problem, I guess, you saw it here, is we got the Dokkan attack towards the end of the second fight. And it's one of the, I think it's a bit of a disadvantage in this kind of event where, you know, you want to try and save the Dokkan attack for the third fight. I probably could have been more careful with my orbs, but the problem is they both change orbs to their own typing. So I probably wasn't thinking about it too much in advance, but there's a lot of instances during this run where we just keep picking up same type orbs with them because they create so many of them. And then, of course, that means that you get the Dokkan attack a lot earlier and can't save it up for the end. But considering we got, you know, we've barely used any items and gotten all this way through. So I start off with a Whis here. Perfectly fine to use an item here since we don't have the Dokkan attack to build up to. But overall, it still works out to only using a few items. Like, obviously, as teams get stronger, you need to use less items overall. When Super Battle Road first dropped, you know, some stages, even like the categories, when newer categories came out, some stages were hard to do even using all 8 of your items. But now, like, I didn't bring the most top tier team. I would not bring the free-to-play in Android 21 normally. I love the physical LR androids, but the fact that mine have no dupes, I maybe wouldn't bring them if I was trying to go for like the most efficient run. And the fact that we complete this run, I think we use like half or maybe just under half of our items, is still very, very good. And it shows just how powerful these guys are, because I didn't build the rest of the team in any specific sort of way. I wanted these guys to be my main rotation. I wanted some good support units, and then obviously I wanted the 14 and 15 so we could get the super attack reveal ability to go off by linking with 13. But other than that, that was kind of it. My main focus was the 2 main stars here, the 17 and 18. Whereas obviously you could build a much stronger other rotation to sort of carry this team through. Like I say, I do believe out of the third set of stages, the androids is probably one of the easier ones to no item. So, but yeah, I'm never going to turn down the opportunity to get the switch into 16. But of course, we are getting super attacked by the STR unit in the first slot. So we'll go ahead and put Android 13 there. He won't take a huge amount of damage even from a super attack with his type advantage because his defense is pretty high. But I think I target him anyway, because if we can stun him and just not take the super attack at all, that would be nice. So yeah, we do target him, and then there's all this physical key right here, so we can get a nice little bit of a heal, get a full 24 key super with Android 16, and then we can lower the attack on Rildo because he is still going to be attacking 14 and 15 in that final slot. So the amount of attack lowering on the Android team, I mentioned it previously, is another huge factor in the no items run, because if you just keep nerfing the enemy's attack, some of these units are really good defensively. There's a lot of healing built into the team. You like combine that with the ability to make your opponents do a lot less damage to you, and yeah, it becomes a lot easier. You saw there less than 25k damage on 13 from that type disadvantage super attack. So 3 million crit from 16 as well. That's amazing. I love the fact that, yeah, even with no dupes, once you transform into 16, like you see here, we're getting hit from like Rildo as well as the others, and he's just taking double digits. The upcoming Spirit Bomb Goku banner, which I will be summoning on for sure. Hopefully I'm going to do a collab. I might do a solo video when it first drops as well. But apart from pulling the Spirit Bomb Goku, obviously for the content, I really want to pull my first copy of Baby. But if I was going to pull an LR that I already have, I really want a dupe for the physical androids. Because obviously if you're not new to the channel, you know the androids is one of my favourite teams. I really want to pull another copy of them to actually have a dupe, give them some crits, just increase their stats overall. I would also really like a dupe for Tech Broly. I've started using teams a lot more now that he could be run on, but only 55%. He's insane. I tweeted out screenshots. It was a while ago now, probably even a couple of months ago, but like with support on the rotation, even without his active skill that gives him that massive buff, he can hit like 3-4 million attack stats like fairly easily at 55%. So I would really like dupes for him as well. Rainbow, he is an absolute monster. But yeah, the physical LR androids, no one really talks about them, and I really, really like them as a unit. They do lots of really good things. Like at 17 and 18, they have the built-in dodge. They lower attack with their supers. They're a support unit, and then of course when you exchange into 16, he's like an insanely good tank. He can hit really hard. His 18 key super does sacrifice a little bit of your HP, which is a mechanic I'm not a huge fan of, but as I've said many times in this video already, the Android team is so full of healing and good defensive units and stuff that on this team it's not really a huge liability to lose a little bit of HP here and there. So they are very, very good. Plus the art and everything's great. I love the super attack animations. This is very, very good. So I'm very much hoping for another copy of them from the banner. It is a double rates banner, so I'm going to drop a video talking more detail about the banner, the things that are going to be on it, what we should expect, because obviously JP had the Santa Roshis because it was their banner at Christmas time, which obviously we're not going to get, but hopefully we will get the equivalent, probably just normal Elder Kais, but obviously we will have to see. Like if they take that away, I can see people being pretty mad about it obviously, but that would be a big sort of check in the maybe not to summon column, because that is a huge bonus. Like if you want to drop a couple of multis and try your luck at some double rates for some LRs, like the fact that you're going to get a few free Elder Kais out of it is a nice touch, and if they take that away, I feel like that would be a huge disadvantage. So I don't think they will, but we'll talk about that in more detail in a different video. So 13 manages to get the stun, and then of course immediately gets super attacked by somebody else, so we take 200k. And then here comes 17 and 18 back to take main stage again. And then of course now we actually have our main 17 and 18 here as well. So I think, do I do a defense check here? I certainly hope so. Yeah. Yeah, that is insane defense for 17. So I think I risk it for the old no items, because we got Rildo is stunned. 17 should take barely any damage. Yeah, I do. So I'm kind of relying on them at this point. I'm putting my faith in the androids that we are showcasing here, that I don't need to use an item to finish these guys off. So you should finish off baby. Then of course, are you gonna do, you should finish off a Rildo. I'm pretty sure I targeted Rildo with you. Yep, cool. These guys, I mean, they're gonna lower the attack. They're not gonna, well, they got a crit at least. And they want an additional as well. See, they're trying to join in. 14 and 15 are trying to show their value in this showcase. But I mean, double attack lower, we will take that. So that is something that is very, very useful. Anytime a unit, when you're against one final opponent in Super Battle Road and one of your units that could lower attack gets an additional super attack, that is always happy days. So in fact, I think I continue this trend here. I really wanted to try and finish off the stage without having to use another item. And the fact that Dr. Mew on the end here has been attack lowered so much. We know that 13 is insane defensively. He's not going to take a lot of damage. And then the free-to-play 21 could maybe take a bit of damage, but she heals on super, and we can see that she's not going to get super attacked. So there's no way a normal attack from an enemy that's been attack lowered this much is going to deal like over 120k damage to her. So look at that, 2.4 mil attack stat on the physical androids, no dupes. Very, very good. And then of course it's another attack lower from them as well. So her attack stat not great, but I really like the free to play 21 super attack animation. Like, I like that last bit. I think it's really cool. And then yeah, we take 20k, so there's probably around about equal to or around the amount that we healed from her attack. So I'm perfectly fine with that. The reason I bought her on the team actually is somebody did point out in the comments, I don't know how I missed it, but the STR Hellfighter 17, who I normally think is one of the best support units on the Android team, it really does depend how you build your team, because the units have to be androids and artificial life forms. And I don't know how I missed it, but this the 17 and 18 that just got their EZAs, they're not on the artificial life forms category. So they weren't getting the full buff from Hellfighter 17, but they will from the Android 21. So that's why she ended up on the team. Plus, you know, 21 is top Dragon Ball waifu, so there you go. But that is the 17 and 18 EZA on Super Battle Road, the Android category. Obviously, they are very, very strong. We used half our items, so I consider that to be pretty good. Obviously, not the quickest run in the world. This is a stage that I've tried doing some like speed runs on with friends. Obviously we did that Timebreaker video challenge. Go check that out if you haven't already. Join in, let us know your best Android time. But yeah, they worked out very well, and we all saw literally from the bat with that very first turn, the fact they just took no damage from normal attacks with no items active. Very, very strong. So let me know what you think of them down below. That is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. You can follow me on Twitch or join my Discord. The link is in the description below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.